Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Domonique. I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm here with a highly requested video. I'm going to be talking about my top drugstore foundations, and out of all of the drugstore foundations that I have, I just chose 5 out of them. And before we get into this, I want to let you guys know that this video is not sponsored by L'Oreal. I just love their foundations. Like, they are my top drugstore foundation brand. Like, I absolutely love L'Oreal because 4 out of the 5 foundations that I'm going to show you is from L'Oreal, so it's not sponsored by them. I just love them. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into this video so it's not extremely long. And the first foundation that I'm going to show you is not in any particular order. I'm just going to show you as I pick it up. So this first one is Milani. This is the 2-in-1 foundation. It has a foundation and concealer in one bottle. Like, this right here is bomb. I love the coverage that it gives me. I am in the color 09, which is tan, and I really have been loving this foundation because it has matched my skin complexion since I've gotten a tan, and I just love this foundation. I'm actually wearing it today. I love the coverage that it gives me. On the back it says that it is medium to full coverage, lightweight, oil-free formula, long wearing, water resistant, and sweat proof. And I agree with all of that. I actually set this foundation with a powder when I use it. I haven't just went out and not set my foundation with a powder. So without setting it with a powder, I don't know how it would do. But for the most part, like, my foundation stays in place all day long. When I wear this foundation, I have no problems with like blotchiness and things like that. I know I've been using the NYX foundation for about 3 or 4 weeks now, and one thing I've noticed about this foundation is that it gets really blotchy, and I just don't like that. That's why I did not include this foundation in my top 5 favorites, because it leaves my skin looking blotchy and it just doesn't look smooth or anything like that. So I like this because you can build on it, but as far as wearing it for a long period of time, I really don't care for it. But my second drugstore foundation that I've been loving is the L'Oreal Invaluable Total Cover. This is the shade 309, which is caramel beige. And I like this foundation because it's full coverage. So if you're looking for a full coverage foundation that's at the drugstore, I really would recommend this foundation. It covers up blemishes really, really well. So on the back, I'm just going to read some of the information that's on the back. It says the finish is natural, and it said it wears up to 24 hours. The coverage is high, like I previously said. It is full coverage. The texture is airlight, and I feel like this foundation is breathable. It's not going to be a foundation where you just feel like, oh my gosh, my face is just so cakey, I'm ready to get this off. No, it does not feel like that. The Milani doesn't feel like that either. I'm trying to find out if I have anything else to say about this foundation. I just love the coverage that it gives me. I need a darker shade in this foundation, actually, because I was wearing this in the winter time, and now I've gotten a little tan, and I think I need to go up a shade in this foundation. The second foundation that I've been loving from L'Oreal, this is the Pro Glow, and I wear the shade 210 in this foundation, and this is classic tan. And I love the coverage that this foundation gives me as well. It says the finish on this foundation is radiant. It wears up to 24 hours. This is medium coverage and is airlight. So if you're looking for something that's not full coverage, definitely go towards this foundation. It's going to give you a nice coverage, but it's not going to give you that full coverage. But with this foundation, I feel like it is buildable. So if you want to get that full coverage or more coverage, I feel like it is buildable. it does oxidize. So this foundation oxidizes a little bit orangier on my skin complexion, but I actually like the color that it makes my skin, I guess you can say, after it oxidizes. So I definitely recommend this foundation right here. But one thing I will say, if you have oily skin, I will kind of like stay away from this foundation because it's going to make you look a little bit more oily, because this is a pro glow. It's going to have your skin looking radiant. So in the summertime, I like to look glowy. I like to look radiant. That is why I am going to be going towards this foundation more, since it is the summertime. I just love to have that glow to my skin. The next foundation I'm going to pick up is the Pro Matte. So these foundations are very similar. This is the glowy foundation and this is the matte foundation. So this is going to give you a demi matte finish. It lasts up to 24 hours. You have medium coverage, but like I said, with these foundations, I feel like you can build it up and get full coverage. It is airlight, all control. So if you have oily skin, this is the foundation for you. This foundation oxidizes. It really does. And I feel like I look more orangey after it oxidizes. It really doesn't bother me too much because I know how to pick the concealer to even it and balance it all out. But if you don't like foundations that oxidize or like have like a strong oxidation, what's the word, that oxidizes a lot, I really wouldn't go towards this foundation. But if you do have oily skin and you're looking for a foundation that's going to stay matte on your skin for a long period of time, this will be the great foundation for you. I'm trying to think of anything. Like, I've had this foundation for so long. This is probably my second bottle. I absolutely love it. At one period of time, I was just wearing this foundation back to back every day. Like, I absolutely love this foundation. Last but not least is a oldie but goodie. One of probably my first drugstore liquid foundations that I started out using. It has been a oldie but a faithful foundation. One of my go-to foundations for like everyday makeup is the L'Oreal True Matte. And I know you've probably heard so much about this foundation. It's been out for a very long time. These are some of L'Oreal's newer foundations, but this one right here has been out for a while. So the color that I wear in this foundation is W7, and I don't believe I told you the color in this one right here. I'm in the color 109, which is Classic Tan in this foundation. So in this foundation, I am in the color W7, which is Beige Caramel, and this is a warm foundation, like I previously said. It does have sunscreen in it, and I believe all of these foundations that I've been talking about have sunscreen in it. But if you do have a foundation that doesn't have sunscreen in it, which I highly doubt, you do need to put a sunscreen on before you apply that foundation. You want to make sure you're applying sunscreen to your skin. But I love this foundation, one, because it is buildable, but it really blends into the skin and it just gives you a natural finish, which I really love, especially if I'm going for a natural look. This is a great foundation. This is a little bit more liquidier, I feel like. These are liquid foundations, but they're a little bit more creamier to me, especially this one right here. This is like really creamy to me. It's not really like a liquid, like, I don't know. I can't really explain it. It's not really liquidy. It's a little bit more thicker. But this foundation right here has been a oldie but a goodie, and I absolutely recommend this foundation. All of these foundations are affordable and they have my approval on them. So if you have any more questions about my top 5 drugstore foundations, just leave them down below in the description box. I hope this video has been helpful for you, especially if you're my skin complexion. You have the colors that I use. I will list them down below in the description box, and the colors that I use, so you can go to the store, check it out for yourself, and let me know down below if you've used any of these foundations and what you think about them. But I will see you guys in my next video. In my head, every time I take a step, it's on the